Hey guys, it's Roscoe, and on the Spacecraft site we're going to be having an in-depth look at this Propaganda by Pablo Hidalgo, A History of Persuasive Art in the Galaxy. That's a fantastic front cover. We have the TIE Fighter pilot, Imperial Stormtrooper and the Biker Scout. And on the back we have Remember Alderaan, Buy Republic War Bonds. We beat them before, we can beat them again, and do your part, the Droid Builders Association. So let's slip it out of its box, which is very nice. It's in a box rather than just a dust jacket. There's the front cover. Sadly, I've got a little scratch on mine there. There is the Imperial symbol on the back. So let's have a look at it. I like that. That's inner page. Is that the old Jedi symbol? I'm not sure. It certainly looks like that. And there's a great one there. That's obviously Imperials with TIE Fighters and all of the red, of course. Red, black and white is very much there. Pinnacle of Freedom, The Resistance. Now this is Janyo of Bith. Obviously that species is the one that we see in the Star Wars Cantina playing the music. But he's the artist who created a lot of this in-universe, and also is the one who did that 70-meter high sculpture of Bail Organa. He also did this image, which he later hated. Now, I know to us that looks like it's Latin. It says Imperius Unitada Uber Totalix, Imperial Unity overall, I guess. Very much like Deutschland über alles. But this is the brutalist Atresian basic motto, and it is Empire United over all. Now, here we see, this is just showing us some of what's coming up. It's divided into parts: the Republic, the Empire, and I think the New Republic. We'll get through because the last era of peace. This is seen as an idealised image of the Republic, you know, the Senate forecourt, as it were, at the very top of Coruscant. Here we see the Boonta Eve pod races. I'm sure Anakin Skywalker is in there somewhere. Now, we saw this, I think, in our first look. The Outer Rim, you know, who is it? The Republic Ministry of Economic Development, in cooperation with the 11 Star company based out of Katoy Nemoidia, which is the Trade Federation. You wouldn't want to go there. Now here we have taxation without representation. Yes, taxation without federation, sorry. And then safe in our hands, the Trade Federation. I don't know, I don't feel very safe in those hands with those giant claws. Invest wisely, the banking clan. They're mostly Muns, of course, which in the old canon, Darth Plagueis was a Mun. There we go. Vote yes on what? Proposition 3181.4D, tax-free trade routes. That led to an awful lot of problems. Now, the Naboo coronation of the good and wise Queen Padme Amidala. That's a lovely image, and that obviously is the actual invite. Everything they do on Naboo is has form and function and ritual, whether you're the lowliest labourer or the Queen. Now, Chancellor Valorum, the 1,000 Years of Peace, that they were planning. Obviously, the Republic never got to 1,000 years before it fell apart and was taken over. That is the sport's greatest rivalry. So that's Sebulba and Quadrenal. I forget, is that his name? Yes, it is the Bed Quadinaros and Sebulba. A galaxy divided. I wonder by who. Now there, of course, we see at the end of Attack of the Clones where they're reviewing all of the troops. And there, by the way, it's just Count Dooku with, I think, is that Poggle the Lesser? Very likely. Now, Count Dooku had the autobiography Words of Truth. This is part of a lecture series in Universe. It's very interesting. Now this, there are 2,000 senators inside this building. None of them care about you. Confederacy of Independent Systems. Always simple to turn people against their leaders by saying that they don't do anything for you. We see this in our own world at the moment, of course, in many different countries. Here. This was to show the unity of the galaxy without including humans, because humans are the biggest one. But this guy, Maz Ameda, the Vice Chancellor, later Palpatine's Grand Vizier, because he was included in there, this image just became the subject of ridicule. So we have a Wookiee, we have someone from Malastair, that's this guy, we have a Greedo type. I forget where he's from. We have a Twi'lek, we have Mon Cala, we have a Gungan. Let's see, Rodian, sorry, I should know that, Rodia, of course. Now, violence as security, chaos as order, war is peace. That's very 1994, of course. Vote against the Military Creation Act. Interesting imagery of Palpatine there, was much closer to the truth than I thought. And this, a stylized lightsaber. The Military Creation Act. Again, the only thing between you and oblivion, so vote yes on the Creation Act. Now, part 2, the Clone Wars. This obviously is how Dooku is portrayed in the Clone Wars TV show, and I really like that depiction of him. I know his face looks much more elongated, but it very much suits him. And there we see some of the boys in white. I think that's one that has the Y-wings there. Love this type of image with the dripping. There's more clone troopers. So yes, and I think at the bottom that is just a Naboo starfighter, I think. Like fire across the galaxy. If you're a fan of Star Wars Rebels, and I certainly am, that is the title of, is it the last episode, I think, of season 1? Fire Across the Galaxy? Or is it the start? No, it'll be the last episode of season 1. So there we have, it's bringing closer, the fight over Coruscant at the beginning of Revenge of the Sith. Here we have Emperor Palpatine declaring the First Galactic Empire with Maz Ahmed again and that lady. Both of them knew his secret identity as a Sith. I don't know what happened to either of them. I know Maz Ahmed is in it for quite some time, the canon, because he's in Catalyst, he's in the Lando comic, and I think he's mentioned elsewhere. Her, I don't know. I assume he ends up getting rid of them, of course. It'd be such a surprise that the Empire would be super racist, super sexist, super anti-feminist and all that sort of thing. So, here we are, Unite. That's a great one of the Clone Troopers. I love that. And here's another one, Jedi Unite for Peace, with various different races, not just humans, which is very important because you see the different coloured lightsabers, blue and green. Droid army fighting for your independence. Are they really? And there we go. Support the boys in white with the Y-wings. That's obviously is the original version of the Y-wings, not the stripped down ones that we see in the original trilogy, but the full build that we see in the Clone Wars and the prequel trilogy. Deliver us from Jedi evil. Because obviously a lot of people thought the Jedi are evil. It's like in Doctor Who at one point where they thought the Time Lords and the Daleks were as bad as each other. Do you know who else she's talking to? Watch your droid. Keep our Republic secure. Wipe your droid's memory regularly. Evil has its eyes on you. So we have Dooku and we have behind the image, of course, of General Grievous. What does it say at the bottom? No, it's just written in Orabesh. So, never too young to do your part. That was the Association of Droid Builders. Very much like the Rosie Riveter type of thing. And those patriotic posters from the Second World War that were on all sides. Germany, Soviet Union, UK, France, America, wherever. They all had iterations of that. Now, there we see that one. We saw that briefly earlier. I love this style, and as I said before, this is quite common. I've seen, like, say, an R2 unit like this and many others. There's that one by Republic Warborns. That's, of course, one of the bonus content posters. Slow your speed and share your speeder. What is that? Assure our victory. This one, Black Market. Don't use the black market, basically. What's it say? There's a reason it's called the black market. Shadowy dealings only benefit those who operate from the shadows, our enemies. Republic law demands that you report all unauthorized trade. Of course, in the times of the Empire, that's very much a big thing. The black market is huge. It's partially tolerated as long as they don't take too much of the piss, as it were. But yes, they're always cracking down on smugglers. Do not bind his hands. This is a phrase that has appeared several times in our own history, of course, about don't bind the hands of the leader by passing some act that means he can't kill everyone, basically, or that he does not have a full path to victory. All of his options have been limited, that sort of thing. This is a great one. These are Mandalorians, of course, and they look brilliant. Very much looking forward to seeing the Mandalorians in Star Wars Rebels again. And there's that episode, the Imperial Super Commandos with the Mandalorians. And in the Poe Dameron comic, which we will get to soon, there are stormtroopers with backpacks. So here is a bunch of, looks like patches here. So there's an X-Wing. What does that one say? Love not laser cannons. That's obviously written Orabesh, but it's an anti-Jedi symbol. What does that say? Justice for baby Ludi. I guess that's something in canon, in universe. Stop throwing away lives. Stop cloning. And look, this symbol here is the Confederation of Independent Systems. Suspiciously just like the solar panel of a TIE fighter. Resist. Republic is the problem, not the solution. That's very much like that government is the problem, not the solution, that we see repeated in American politics frequently. Jedi are not the guardians of peace in the galaxy. Don't believe the lies. As Darth Vader says, I have brought peace, justice and security to my new empire. Speaking of the empire, it's another part now. Some more great images. Love these styles. This is very much like Star Wars Rebels, isn't it? That style of animation they have. Very much, yes, indeed. So let's see. 1,000 years of peace. I think we've heard that line before somewhere. There is Emperor Palpatine with Lord Vader and the Imperial Guard. That looks like a biker scout in the background there, doesn't it? I don't remember that before, but that would have been from Return of the Jedi. So, of course, there would have been biker scouts from Endor on the Death Star. And there, of course, we see the stormtroopers. They might have been called sand troops at that point. As I recall correctly, this was added, and this was added in the special editions, because I'm pretty sure they didn't have the effects for that kind of thing for the dewbacks, and certainly didn't have the shuttles in them. That shuttle, by the way, is the same type that Palpatine uses when he's rescuing Darth Vader from Mustafar. Now, here we go. Report sedition. If you see something, say something. And we have seen this image. I think this was also one of the bonus ones. Attention, Imperial citizens. Remember, always carry your Imperial identification. Your safety depends on it. And even if you have it, it's no guarantee that you will be safe, of course. This is, of course, that fantastic cover image. Nothing beats an Imperial education. TIE fighter pilot, stormtrooper and biker scout. Yes. Stand with the best. Enroll today. And look at this one of the Star Destroyer. Security and strength. Order in obedience. Very much the fascist imagery, isn't it? Which is very appropriate for the Empire, of course. Lots of these images are essentially taken directly from our own history and adapted accordingly. You all know I love to say it, rise. That's a great image. It clearly looks like graffiti, I suppose. What is that? Well, it's not graffiti. List in the Galactic Empire. We fight, we win. Join the Imperial forces. He does remind me just a little bit of General Veers, don't you think? From Empire Strikes Back, the AT-AT commander. Again, that idealised image. Now here is the idealised version of that. So we have the officer, the stormtrooper, the pilot, the snowtrooper, the biker scout and the cadet. This is a great image. Again, very much in that Star Wars Rebels style. As is this one. Join the Imperial Army. What else does that one say? Yeah, just wear it, join the Empire. If the headgear fits, wear it. Of course, we see all that being subverted by various members of Rebels when they're impersonating people. And obviously, Ezra has impersonated a cadet along with Zer Leonis in Rebels. Now, here's a great one. This is Lothal. If you look at the city at the bottom, here we are, this is Capital City. That, I think, is like a TIE fighter production facility. Support the Empire. This is a great big mural that they have on Lothal. You see all the Star Destroyers in hovering above. As I said before, we're seeing this image more and more, and because it's a great one. Just a Star Destroyer hovering over a city. Most recently, of course, in Rogue One over Jeddah. And here we have... Yes, here we have children playing. This one is playing with a TIE Fighter toy. That just reminds me, there are people complaining, why does Jin as a child have a Stormtrooper doll? If you look at the visual dictionary, or visual guide, whatever it's called, there's a whole double-page spread of all of her toys. There's loads of them. That was just her favourite. And it's just a doll. It doesn't mean anything. It would have been from her childhood when she was on Coruscant. So that's why she's got a Stormtrooper doll. So it's like, patriotic, looking for work, mechanically inclined, build TIE fighters. The latest in defence against the threat to peace. CNR fleet systems bringing jobs and prosperity to Lothal. And as we saw in, I think, I haven't seen season 3 yet, but certainly from the trailers, they're building TIE defenders on Lothal. Rise of the Rebellion. Here we see Wookiee slaves. Next to that, of course, we see a not a TIE fighter, what am I saying? An X-Wing. This will be Remember Alderaan. There is Lord Vader. There's a Stormtrooper, and that's, I suspect, someone facing Lord Vader, or answering to Lord Vader, shall we say. The new Light of Freedom. Here we see Mon Mothma, I think Genevieve O'Reilly now, and this we can do it. Let's put it very much again in that Rosie the Riveter style. Fantastic image. And there we see from Return of the Jedi the briefing sequence with all of the guys, Han, Leia, Luke, Lando, Chewie, Admiral Akbar, and various pilots. And I think that's 3PO directly above Akbar's head. So R2 will be in there as well. Yes, you just can't see him. Oh, Nien Number's in there also. Join the SA group. Again, very much that fascist imagery that we've seen on our own world. The SA group, what are they? A contraction sub-adult group. Oh, the Hitler Youth. So the Palpatine Youth, the Empire Youth, whatever you want to call them. Liberty for all helped make it a reality, you know, even for Wookiees. So it's obviously the whole of Kashyyyk was enslaved. The planet was even just renamed as some like number designation, and essentially they tried to wipe it from existence. Do you think they want peace? Rebels are terrorists. That's a great image, isn't it? Very striking. And here's another one. What does that say? Conscripted to the service of the Empire. Yes, very good. What will you do when it happens here? What will you do when they break you? If you continue to fight, what will you become? Remember Alderaan. The destruction of Alderaan was really the Empire's biggest mistake, according to the canonical material. It pushed a lot of systems towards the rebellion instead of terrifying them. Many Alderaanians who were serving in the Imperial Navy promptly defected. I mean, we do see that one in the Princess Leia one-shot. I forget her name, the girl who's got the sister in the Imperial Navy, who's essentially trying to spy on them. But yes, stay on target, wings for victory. This is also one of the parts, the U-Wing and the X-Wings and the Bullseye. It does look like that orbital station, the gate station a little bit though, doesn't it? It's a shame there's not a Y-Wing in there as well, or an A-Wing. Then you've had the whole set. Although where do you stop? There'd have to be a B-Wing as well. Death is all they bring. That's a great image. Vader, the Death Star, firing on a planet that would... Well, I mean, which planet was that? Was that Jeddah? Was that Scarif? The final moments of Alderaan? Who knows? Let's see. Maybe it'll tell us. No, it's about Alderaan. They're basically blaming Alderaan for its own destruction, saying, oh, it's a den of terrorists. There we go. Rebels. So that's been graffitied. No Stormtroopers. And again, the style of the helmet is very much the animation style of Star Wars Rebels. That predates the Battle of Yavin. Ah, yes, Sabine Wren of Mandalore defaced that image in the Lothal sector. Loose slips bring down starships. Yes, Admiral Ozzel, Grand General Tag, Captain Piet, you name it. And this, of course, that is Sabine Wren's Mandalorian helmet, Join the Rebellion. That's a great image of that. Again, the slight dripping here is very effective. Yes, it's Sabine Wren, but it's disputed that is Sabine Wren. Though she may not be the actual artist who first defined this image, she clearly inspired its creation and its usage in the years prior to the Battle of Yavin. Now, Galactic Empire, help end the rebellion, enlist today. This is just wonderful. Now, what is this? This is essentially a declaration. It's too long to talk about, but it'll be like their principles and why they think the Empire is bad. Yes. It's the Declaration of Rebellion. Fly for freedom. Here we see an A-wing that could very well be Hera Syndulla's other A-wings. Is that a Corellian Corvette, Tantive 4 type vessel? I think it is. What's this? Imperial domination. Yes, indeed. Vader and the Death Star and a Star Destroyer. Now, rebuild the Death Star. The Empire needs you. Here's another great one of the people we see in Jedi, the Imperial Stormtrooper, the Biker Scout, and the Snowtrooper, of course, from the Empire Strikes Back. What does all that say? Your Emperor commands you, expose, pursue, destroy those who would resist us, which is the entire galaxy, basically. Loyal, prove it. Join Compnor today. That is another one of those organisations that was in the Empire. Basically, what is it? Yeah, it's like the I can't think of the word. It's you know, the loyalists of the Empire, shall we say? The propagandists, as this is called, propaganda. Yes, stand strong. Don't fail the Emperor. You know what happens if you do. Now, I love this. This is very 1930s type. He can't do it alone. Enlist today. And you see stormtroopers, Imperial Guards, TIE Fighter pilot. These are the guys on the Death Star who fire the weapons, I think. Biker Scout and all that. That's just brilliant. That's like all of them in there. Fantastic image. No. The next great war. So you can see from the imagery that this is more up to date in the Star Wars universe for Force Awakens. An Order Resurgent, obviously that's the First Order. We see all of them there and their power. First Order, yes. Very skull-like, that picture, isn't it? Yes. A New Dawn. Now, I'm not sure if this is Hosnian Prime. This might be Chandrila, which is Mon Mothma's homeworld, which served as the first capital of the New Republic. Let me see. Yes, it's the Legislative Commons of Chandrila, the provisional capital. Endor is a lie. Believe it at your peril. And obviously, as we know from the Shattered Empire comic, there's, I forget the name, or is it Operation Scourge or something, where he decides he's going to kill as many plants as he can after he's died. Do you know who's pulling their strings? And that's obviously a Hutt and some rebels, assuming that, or trying to allege that they're in league with each other. And here we are. That's a great image. What is that? The terrorists are coming for your world next. Yes, indeed. The rebellion, the resistance, sorry, terrorists. That must be a First Order. Oh, no, actually, sorry, that is not, that is the rebellion, not the resistance. Yes. Princess Leia on Endor. Now, I think I mentioned previously, Yvonne Verlaine was in charge of Leia's public image, and this is one of the ones that was released, obviously very idealized propaganda. Now, that guy, obviously, from A New Hope, he's the one who tells the stormtroopers where Luke, Ben, and the droids are on Mos Eisley. Report Imperial holdouts, it says. Protect the Republic, vote Leia for First Century. This is essentially the cover of Bloodline. We've discussed this image previously and it's a great one, as is this, of course. Look at that, very intimidating. What does that say? Legitimate rule, legitimate power. Indeed, all remaining systems will bow to the First Order. Holding back the chaos. Might is all, and there we have a finalised class. I don't know if that's the name of the class. Type ship, and all of the TIE fighters seen edge on. You turn it that way, and they're all level. Yes, watching over the skies and stars. Resistance. Poe Dameron. Indeed, I think he is very popular. I think the pilots say that using his image prompted a lot of people to want to join the resistance. No. Massacre to Anal, obviously the flame troopers, and this is obviously was the opening sequence of The Force Awakens. This image didn't get widely disseminated because by the time it was, Hosnian Prime had already been destroyed. The threat of the First Order is real, never forget. Protect those who can't defend themselves. This, I was just watching Clone Wars the other day, and this is one of the ones, season 2, no, disc 2, I think it is, where the droid army is going to test some super weapon that kills all organic life, but doesn't kill or destroy mechanicals, and he's the leader of the settlement there. So there we saw that image. That's, I think, one of the bonus content ones, isn't it? We see the old and new TIE fighters and X-Wings chasing them down. Yes, we beat them before, we can do it again. We will beat them again. And that is it. This just mentions artists of the galaxy. Some of these will be actual people. Some of them will, of course, just be for the canon. There, of course, it was, and there is Pablo, of course. So, yes, absolutely fantastic book. Love that. So many great images. And, of course, the bonus content ones are brilliant as well. I thoroughly enjoyed going through that. I hope you guys did too. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content. Leave me a comment suggestion for an upcoming topic you'd like to see discussed, or like the video.